When Harry Met Sally is the best romantic comedy ever made. I don't think anything else even comes close. And we've done a bunch of them, and we're going to continue to do a bunch more here on Reckoning with Jason Herbert. And we've been planning this pod for a long time. We actually recorded this pod some time ago with two of my best friends in the world, Kate Sheppard and Thomas Lecaque. Tom actually came to me and said, hey, I want to do a pod with Kate. And this is starting to happen more and more where you guys are just reaching out to me saying, hey, introduce me to this stranger so I can record a podcast with them. But okay, it usually works pretty well. And that's the case here. We wanted to do When Harry Met Sally. It's one of the three of our favorite films ever made. I think it's a perfect movie. And of course, the ending works perfectly for New Year's Eve for us. Of course, we can't talk about this film now without talking about the tragic passing of Robin Michelle Reiner, who just passed recently horrifically. This pod was recorded well before then, so we won't be talking about that during that, and that's okay, because I think really this is just a celebration of their work, of Billy Crystal, of Meg Ryan, of Bruno Kirby, of Carrie Fisher. So I hope you love this movie. I hope you love this pod. This is going to be our last pod for 2025, but we've got a whole bunch more coming for you in 2026. More movies, more history, more shenanigans, everything else. So sit back and relax, because When Harry Met Sally is next on Reckoning with Jason Herbert. My name is Jason Herbert. I'm a Southerner who lives in the West. I'm a historian, an outdoorsman, and a movie buff. I like finding new answers to old questions, and this is a reckoning. All right, for those of you who've been listening right now, I've been being lectured about things we won't talk about directly for the next hour and a half, whatever it is. But that leads me to a great decision, which is called I poured some wine before I sat down tonight. So welcome back to the pod, Thomas Lecaque and Kate Sheppard. Both of you have been on the pod about 75 times, but have never been on together. Welcome to Thunderdome.
This is it. This is the first time we've met in person, despite also having the same alma mater.
Yep.
That's so weird. And what's weird is that I've never met either of you physically in person.
I know.
Although that's going to change. Kate, I wonder if we'll release one of our pods when I'm there in Missouri with you. We should totally do that. This one or Notting Hill. I was just asking, someone was asking me, she's like, how did Notting Hill go? And it's like, that was a ride. So
it was awesome.
And now trying to live up to the pressure of Notting Hill. And then I've got The Cutting Edge come up with two bros. It's gonna be three guys in a romcom on that one. Yeah, that one's gonna be crazy.
Speaking of alma maters, that was my college roommate's favorite movie. She loved The Cutting Edge.
Everyone, that's because, you know what, let's just do this. Like, can we talk about Jason Herbert in love with Moira Kelly in like the 1990s? Oh my God. She deserved a bigger career, I think. Like, it was, you know, she had the one season as Mandy on the West Wing, and then they jettisoned her. Yep. We never heard, they literally never said her name again and stuff. But like, God, she was just, we did it one night on the watch party, like a few months back. And
yeah, you did. Yep.
I was just me like, hi, Topik, call me. She's married now, Moira. I'm sure to a wonderful man who's not as good for her as I am, but that's okay. So anyway, all right, let's, I want to talk about, why are we doing this movie? Like this, okay, this pod started off as a history film pod.
Also.
Okay, I'm gonna ruin this right away. Because used to we asked if like the movie was a history film. This is absolutely a history movie. I'm watching this movie. It's not only set in time, like you know, late 80s and stuff like that.
In New York, it's absolutely a history movie, yeah.
There's actual those couples who are in the film are actual couples telling their real stories. Those are oral histories preserved. Therefore, yes. I mean,
rewritten and reshot with actors, but yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The movie is also an oral history of Rob Reiner and Billy Crystal's friendship in several sections.
Yep.
Because the banter is just them. And it makes history in a lot of ways. Right? Like this is the movie that gives us like really leaning into the idea of high maintenance being a thing, but also the idea of a transitional person, which are both terrible ideas, but fun in a film.
But and the other thing is like, doesn't this film establish what the gold standard of the rom-com is.
Yeah.
I was looking earlier,
Yes.
like AFI has this I think it's American Film Institute, has this ranked as like the number 6 all-time best rom-com, and I think that's bullshit.
Oh.
I looked at the list
Wow.
beforehand.
Thomas is looking it up right now.
Tom's looking it up right
Thomas
now,
is
and it's like, and there's some
absolutely
real
looking it up right
duds in there. Okay, first and foremost, Annie Hall, get fucked, is what I have to say.
Yeah.
Annie Hall won Best
All
Picture
Woody
from
Allen movies can
1977.
be thrown off a cliff.
I like one Woody Allen movie.
Is this AFI's 100 years, 100
No, it's
passions
AFI.
list?
If you Google AFI's best rom-coms, like their 10 best rom-coms, and 2 of which are, one is like this and the other is Sleepless in Seattle, right? But this movie in my mind is and I finished watching it like 2 hours ago. I came home from work and finished watching it. And I can't help but think how perfect of a movie this is. This movie is flawlessly executed, from the cast, the writing, Nora Ephron, the directing, everything about it. This movie, maybe more than any other movie in the history of film, makes me want to go to Central Park in New York City. You know,
or the Metropolitan Museum of Art, where the Temple of Dendur is, and you can see out the glass, and you can just see all the beautiful leaves.
You know what? So so I was dating somebody who lived in Denver when I was living in we'll call her the librarian, and we went to New York together and did all of these places. Like we went to George Washington, is it Square? Is that what it's called? Like with the thing, right? We went to the Met. I didn't even think I liked art until I got in there, right? And I went to the Met, and the Met will change you. The Met will change your life. We got in there, and there's like this whole thing of like Dutch Renaissance stuff, and I'm like guns and ships, and it's like the way that they play with like shadows and like oceans and like warfare against the English, my people. God damn it, the fucking Met, dude. You know?
See, I am unaware that there's any other section other than the Egyptian section. Like I hear stories that there's other art in there, but like
I have never yet been to the Egyptian section because there are so many things. There are just so many things. I've been to other sections. I've been to the Greek and Roman. I've been to your medieval. I love me the cloisters. We'll happily spend all the time in the cloisters. I've never been to the Egyptian section. Next time I'm in New York, whenever that is, because it's been a while, maybe again, I'll make sure to go to the Egyptian section for you.
They have like 90% of their collection on display. So it's huge.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
It's huge. And they have this entire room of model wooden boats not just boats, but like wooden models from like the Middle Kingdom that you definitely want to get stuck in there. But anyway.
Is that near the agricultural section? Because I thought I saw a collection called Boats and Hoes.
I love how easily you spun that one off, Jason.
I loaded. Kate says boats. I'm like, let's go. This is gonna be a 12-year-old's podcast tonight. Okay, so here's my question then to the two of you, because we were both like, hey, let's do another pod. Let's do something fun. Because the deep dives are fun. Like I've got here on the podcast come out. I've got some very deep films. We're gonna be talking about Lincoln again soon. We're gonna be doing 13 Days, which is a film I actually absolutely love. The Kevin Costner Cuban Missile Crisis film, which I think is fantastic. That's come up. But these are deeper films. But we wanted to do something fun tonight. Why? And the both of you came up to me saying, "Hey, let's do this particular film." So Kate, why are we doing When Harry Met Sally? What is the particular relevance of this film to you?
To me?
Yes.
First of all, I love it. I think I watched it like maybe a month ago on a flight before you even mentioned this. Because if When Harry Met Sally or 10 Things I Hate About You are available on a flight, I'm like one of those two or both if I have enough time. So I watched When Harry Met Sally, and things I love is I have always sort of identified with Sally Albright because of basically of how she orders her food, and anyone who eats with me makes fun of me, and because I'm just like, well, I don't really want this, but I'd like this, and could I please have that on the side? And I know that he like talks about it being high maintenance, but I think like I 100% agree with her, and I would say it with her as she says it. I just want it the way I want it. That is not high maintenance.
Literally
that
said
is
this
just
at dinner
me
last
paying
night.
for my food.
Literally, it's like And we're gonna, by the way, we're gonna get into your food norms, both of you, all three of us tonight.
Okay.
Because I am well known for my pickiness, and so forth. Right. All right, Tom. What about you? What's
Thomas, no.
So I love that we're doing this correctly. This is the correct thing. So
Okay.
Kate, you're going to play the role of the Sally in this.
Okay.
We've already decided that Jason is Jess, and he has no choice in the matter.
I'm not Bruno Kirby.
Bless your heart. You are absolutely Bruno
How
Kirby.
am I Bruno fucking Kirby?
I'll get there in a second.
You made her meow.
I love the fact that, which is a great line. Is that your quote of the evening? Because like I got to be honest, that's a great quote.
No. I'm saving mine.
I love Harry because he absolutely should not get the girl. And that's how you know it's a film.
But he grows.
Because he does. So the thing is, he does grow. He grows dramatically. But he is genuinely neurotic. Yeah. You can feel the endless anxiety that is his primal mode of being. And as an anxious person, I really identify with that. He talks to fill the emptiness in his own life more than he does to converse. And yet he manages to build this beautiful actual friendship with a person who is deeply meaningful to him, even if he's spending the entire time doing his best to screwing it up. And I love that the real secret of him not dying alone in an apartment somewhere is that he has friends who are infinitely more successful and stable and normal than him, like Jess. So you take it as an insult, but it's a compliment because Jess is super comfortable being by himself, being cooler than everyone else. He has a life. He has hobbies. He's a writer. He's interesting. And then he bags Carrie Fisher. So, like, I don't know why you're being offended at me saying that, Jason, I think you could have pulled Princess Leia, but okay.
I didn't really
be weird about it, Jason.
Excuse me, she is General Leia. Thank you.
Goddess Leia?
She's actually both Princess and General Leia. And if we go back to the original Star Wars canon, which has been relegated to Legends, she does eventually become leader of the entire New Republic. I'm just saying. Amazing. After Mon Mothma's untimely passing. Just saying.
The expand universe is very important for the continuing mythos.
I know, God, we've lost the entire audience already. All right, I have a series of questions I want to ask of you tonight about the historicity of this film, our favorite parts of this movie, things like that. I want to also come back to Kate and say, this is absolutely a film that I could watch. And Bill Simmons talks about his podcast as the rewatchables, these films that you could just, if it's on TV, if it's on TBS, you would just stop and watch, right? It's just endless rewatchable. And this is one of them. Getting back to your plane film, I would say my favorite plane film is Mulholland Drive.
Ooh,
but only
also
a very
good one.
4-minute segment when the two ladies discover their hidden passion for one another. And I like to ensure that the neighbors in the seats are what? No, Mulholland Drive is a weird fucking movie. I do not understand that movie. What's my plane film? Oh, you know what my plane film is? This is what Tag. That's my plane film. Do you know this movie? It's the movie based on real life about the guys who have a recurring game of tag that goes on for their entire lives. It's like with Jeremy Renner and Ed Helms.
I don't think I've ever.
And
based on a true
John
story?
Hamm. Yeah, this is a real thing. Tag. You've never seen Tag?
No,
it's so much fun.
Is it on planes?
Oh yeah, Tag's you can find it on planes and stuff like that.
Okay.
You need to watch Tag. Okay.
Next time I fly, I will look for it.
Or
I'll be on Southwest in a couple weeks.
Or just download it on your phone. You're giving a talk like right before I come to Missouri.
Oh yeah, no, yes. I'll be in Chicago for that.
That's my town. I love Chicago. I love Chicago more than New York. I'm not a New York guy. I'm a Chicago guy. I'm a Chicago and Boston guy. Those are my cities. Like I would go Chicago because there's this thing going around the other day, like name the top 4 American cities, right? And everybody easily goes New York, Chicago, Los Angeles. And the question is like, what do you go for number 4, right? I actually think, as much as I hate to say it, I actually think Miami for a lot of different reasons. But I love Chicago so much. I have a very dear friend of mine. His mother was let me stay at her place when I was doing work up there. So I have like this love affair, which like can I come to Chicago? I would like to come to your talk. Like I love Chicago, and I love Chicago in January. Like I love it when the hawk is what they call it, when the wind is coming down and stuff like that. Chicago is my favorite city. Chicago, then Boston. I love Boston as well.
If you're in
Boston's very
Chicago
nice,
when it's cold, you can just justify eating more, so you get that nice layer of blubber to help you with the winter, which just means it's an Italian beef in one hand and a single slice of deep dish in the other, and you're just...
I did a fellowship at the Newberry in 2016, at the summer 2016, I think it was.
Nice.
Maybe summer 17. Summer 17 I did for the summer, and learning how to do like Spanish paleography. For those who listening, paleography is like the study of like how words are constructed, like the handwriting is what it is, because like handwriting changes over time.
You did one of those? Nice.
Yeah, it was amazing, right? But I had the entire summer in Chicago. So you'd have class from like 9 a.m. till like 1, 2 in the afternoon. And in the afternoon, you'd go to like the best museums in the world. You'd walk around.
Summer in Chicago is hard to beat.
Oh, God.
It's really hard to beat, especially right there on the lakeshore.
And that's where I was staying too. I was staying on Lakeshore, so I would just walk around Chicago. Yeah. Like I know Chicago now, like the back of my. It is a city that I can navigate Chicago better than I can navigate my hometown. And my hometown's like tiny. But I just know it. Okay, so here's my first question. Doesn't this movie tell us how much better life was under Ronald Reagan?
No.
Why? What kind of question is that?
This movie is set during the Reagan era. The first time we watched we introduced our characters is 1977, and the next time it starts off in 1982, and Gary goes through the entirety of the Reagan era. I think ending in 88.
I think you can make an argument that this movie shows us how much better it was to be a wealthy white person under the Reagan administration, because neither of them seem to work, but they're rich.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's a political consultant. I still don't know what Sally did.
She's a journalist.
Mm-hmm. And she makes a living wage as a journalist.
Yeah. Well, you could do that in the 80s, right? I mean, and that was the thing I kept thinking about, was like, and I actually say this in all seriousness, because this is the boomer era. Boomers are they're working class we saw a ton of films that they're working girl, all this kind of stuff set talking about the boomer life in the mid 80s, right? And like you could go, and I was like, how much does tuition at the University of Chicago cost in 1977? Right? Like
That's a great
could walk out of there and not be in debt for the rest of your life.
I just also think we should point out that like these are not working class people. These are two Chicago grads who can just pick up and move to New York City and walk straight into jobs. Like, let's not pretend that this is a working class love story. This is an upper middle class white professional love story in New York City. This is telling a very specific vision of the Reagan era.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they're miserable the entire film until the end. The entire movie is about two unhappy people who latch onto it. I think it's a great movie about the Reagan era. Everyone is anxious as hell the entire time, and it's very scared and very sad. And then the movie ends, as does the Reagan administration, and everything's better.
I think, Thomas, if we've been following, I think the last 40 years since the Reagan administration has been considerably awful.
No one knew how bad it would get.
We had Gulf War I.
This movie's in 1989, Home Slice. No one knew how bad the legacy would be.
Prince was still
alive.
alive.
The romanticization of New York, though, because crime rates in New York were massively high in the 80s. I mean, they had gone down since the 70s, but like there was no trash on the streets. They're not walking through, the Lower East Side or anything like that. They're on Upper East.
No, they're walking through Central Park in their spare time, and you only do that if you were of means.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And look at Harry's apartment. His goddamn gorgeous like every time they show the couple shots where they're like doing the rug, and you see how big that apartment is, or like where he's kind of sitting there on the floor, and so he's like, God, and he's in. Like you see the city behind him.
And Sally has her cute little apartment with the cute little
the
kitchen. It's a kitchen that is actually a kitchen. It's actually a separate kitchen from the rest of everything else. And then Jess
Marie's giant house.
They've got like a brownstone, right?
A brownstone.
Yeah.
Yes. As a writer for the New Yorker and whatever it is she does.
Galactic Princess.
Yeah, well, there you go.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it's actually a fascinating thing about the ways in which the Reagan era is actually presented on screen, and the ways that New York imagines itself on screen. Because people who make films about New York are often in love with New York. Woody Allen, who none of us really like, famously in love with the city. Martin Scorsese in love with this, although Scorsese will show us a different version of New York, right? But like Woody Allen, it's like some of these guys and some of these filmmakers really love the city, and the city is loves the camera right back. And I'm not kidding. Like so much of like when I went to this to the city with the librarian, much of that in my head was like listening to like scenes from an Italian restaurant, like before I got there, so I could. And I remember telling Natalie, I was like, I want to walk around Central Park in the fall. This was like a thing for me. Oh,
it's glorious.
And it is, right? I mean, it was just like, it was so amazing, at the time. What are your favorite parts of this film? Like when you think about this, because Tom's like charting this thing, like here's two miserable people. And are they miserable just because they're like, because they're missing that piece that makes them happy, right? Like what do you, when you think about this movie, and we all love this film, what do you love about this film?
Okay, I feel like this is kind of the original Sex and the City, because you've got Sally Albright and then you've got Marie, who is like a dumpster fire when it comes to relationships. And
she carries a Rolodex.
She carries a Rolodex, and my vocal stim is, you're right. I know you're right. Because every time she's like, he's never going to leave her. And she's like, you're right. I know you're right. But then she keeps going back until she meets Jess. And then they run off and they're deliriously happy. I think that they're still married. They probably have grandkids by now. They live on Long Island.
Oh.
But I feel like it really is the original Sex and the City because of some of Sally's friends' characters. And then there's this whole sort of like, will they, won't they thing between
Carrie's
her and right. Harry. Exactly. Not a journalist, but
but doesn't like a writer kind of inhabit in like the cultural zeitgeist this idea of upper middle class? I'm a free thinker of means because I can write. I have the ability to let my mind go. I don't have to necessarily do this stuff with my hands. I can observe and report.
Yeah. And you're a good enough writer that you make a lot of money doing it in New York.
Yeah.
So you're a bestseller or you keep getting a bunch of really great book deals or whatever. But yeah, so I like Marie. I really like the Marie character a lot. I think she also has a lot of development and really kind of Sally sort of looks at her and sort of goes, you were a dumpster fire. I was the stable one. And now look at how we've switched. And I think that makes her really sad. But I would say probably my favorite part of the movie, and I'm going to go back to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, is when they're walking through at the Temple of Dendur and they're doing the silly voices, and he says, there's too much pepper in my paprikash. But I have a theory. So remember when we were talking about Notting Hill and I said, didn't you see the Egypt books in his bookshop? And then he had the pyramids on the wall. There is a tie-in with ancient Egypt and rom-coms, and I'm going to figure it out. Because they're in the Temple of Dendur room when he's like, you want to go to a movie with me? She's like, oh, I can't. I have a date. Anyway, so that's my favorite part.
Dates factor heavily into Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yep.
Which also factors Egypt. Cutscene. Go. Are there... Wait.
I'm going to figure it out. Because I had also a theory that there was ancient Egypt or Egypt in Christmas films. And a friend of mine and I started a Twitter thread, which Twitter is dead now, so we lost it. But like a Twitter thread of all the mentions or showings of ancient Egypt in Christmas films. So I want to start one about romantic comedies.
Find whatever the Egypt book is in You've Got Mail. There's got to be one at some of the scenes in one of the books.
There has to be.
There has to be one. Yes.
In Fox Books, I bet there's one in Fox Books or on his bookshelf. Yeah.
Or possibly somewhere like a kid's version in Little Shop Around the Corner, right? I don't know where you'd find it in While You Were Sleeping, but I bet you there's one there.
There's got to be, or like a little statuette or something like that, and that would be Christmas plus rom-com. So we get
the singularity. The singularity comes.
Okay, we're like now we're creating this whole Egyptian thing.
So
you invited me. You know where my mind goes.
Kate, you no longer have an invitation. You just show up at this point in time.
That's true.
It's like Jason usually records around 7:00 at night. I'm just because I have all his passwords. So
what if the old link lets me in? I love that. Yeah. I love that as an idea where you just become a guest star in every podcast.
Oh my God, Kate should just start crashing podcast
just send me
crashers.
links and I'll be like, I can come.
Just
Hey,
showing
guys.
up to like, I've got Jelani Cobb coming on and talk about like, stuff like, okay, it's like, I have thoughts on Reconstruction. So
come in halfway through a sentence, right? Like you just start talking before it loads. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This movie is the best advertisement for going to therapy any film has ever done.
Ooh, yeah.
I think this is a great movie about the power of therapy in making you a happier person, because every problem that is actually solved in this movie is solved by actually talking. There is this is an entire film that the secret to a functional relationship is just two things, really two things. And those two things are very simple. One of them is communication. And the other one is loving people for the parts of themselves that they hate, not in spite of them.
That's really beautiful.
I'm just going to stare Jason dead in his big, beautiful eyes right now. So how to ruin this moment.
So I talk to both of you like every day.
Figured it out.
Like every single day, like all day, every day. Like this is a chance.
Love
like
you, buddy.
I know. And so here's one of the things that I absolutely love, because I have two best girlfriends, and Kate is one of them. The other one is Crystal Shefflin, right? And so one of the things I love about this is they really on the mark. The big question is like, can men and women be friends without the romantic aspect and stuff like that? And yeah, obviously the answer is yes, right? Yes. But some people have a real issue with that in like relationships and so forth, right? But what I love is the banter, the dialogue and stuff like that. Because I can tell Kate the exact same things I can tell to you, Thomas, and quite literally get the woman's ass, like, Kate, you do speak for every woman on the earth, which is kind of neat. But what I love about this film is they nailed the banter between friends. We were talking earlier about the whole, you made a woman meow, but the way, that the two, that Billy Crystal and Bruno Kirby talk to each other is the way the guys talk. It doesn't feel like acting because it feels so true to the mark of like the banter is just so perfect. And it's like the way that Harry and Sally talk to one another, right? She's obviously repulsed by him, but can't quite pull herself away from him because he just draws her in. He says this shit that just is offensive to her, and she can't help but go back to him, and like
he also keeps give him credit. He keeps getting better with time.
He does.
And I think that's a really important fact. He actually grows up.
He does.
Yeah.
Right? Through pain and suffering, but like the first time that he's actually palatable as a human being is when his heart is broken and he can't muster the bullshit exterior anymore. Right? The kind of hard shell that we all use to mask genuine vulnerability and feelings, that like once you finally crack it wide open, you can actually be a person.
Yeah.
Like I love watching him become that person. I think there's something really magical about the banter is there the entire time, the inflection, it's fun, it's exciting, it's rapid banter is wonderful. But then he breaks. The man breaks, and rather than crumble, he actually just starts talking.
Yeah.
And that's when it becomes something real.
That's what I like too, is that it doesn't just sort of cut to them being friends. It shows that, they met again on a plane. They met again in a bookshop. And then it was like, you want to go?
You'll be friends.
Grab some coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, let's go grab some coffee. And it really does show the development of the friendship and how people like truly become friends, I think, because it's not sort of like, we rode in a car together and now we're going to be friends, because that's obviously not what happens really, I think, to anybody. But it really shows this organic friendship blossoming, which I really like.
Yeah. And I also want to I don't want to take away from Sally's own growth as well, because we're talking about Harry and so forth, but she's also in historical terms a hot mess when we first encounter her in Chicago in 1977, and she's growing too. And maybe it's cliche, this idea that what these two people realize is that what makes me a better person is this other person, right? I saw this beautiful, beautiful interview with Jason Alexander recently. He's been married for 42 years. Do you know this?
I saw that too. I saw it. Keep going. Yeah.
And he's talking about how like on your worst day, he's like, when do you love your partner the most? On their best day or their worst day? And it's the worst day. that when your partner is at their lowest, at their absolute worst, that is when you love them the most, right? And that's what you get out of these two. It's like when they need each other, and this is understanding that they do need. And I think humans like do need that other person, and this realization on the part of them. And Harry realizes it first, baby, and Sally right after one of the greatest speeches, which is these are my words, these are my quotes. You're not taking them from me tonight. Like I love it. I just do. That's what I got. But I'm a romantic. I believe. Oh, do you know that song? I believe in a thing called love. Do you remember this song? God, it's so much fun, right? I love that song. We should Fletcher play that song for us. We're talking about historical context, right? They're English, and that
and came out when I was an undergrad.
I'm willing to risk it, Fletcher. Hit it.
You're making me feel.
Let's hope she's playing this right now. All right.
Great song.
Okay, I have some questions for you. What are your picky foods? Yes.
Before we go on to picky foods, the other thing I really like is that actually none of the failed relationships are necessarily bad ones.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just people.
Like, there's absolutely. I think that okay. So Marie is the only one who's actually a hot mess, and that's fine. And then she ends up in a better relationship.
Can we talk about Harley Jane Kozak showing? I had forgot that's who played Marie.
Is she Helen?
Helen, yeah. She was a smoke show.
That's absolutely fair. I'm thinking Sally's first relationship isn't bad. You get married saying you want one thing, and then sometimes you discover that's not true, and that's as far as the relationship can carry on. And like, I don't actually think it's a bad thing for people to be able we want different things, and those things are irreconcilable, and like, you can be two wonderful people who just have gone as far together as you can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that she's devastated when then he marries someone else, but like, what she wants is fundamentally not what he wants. And that's just that doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make it a waste of time. It doesn't make it a failure. It's just that has gone as far as it's going to go.
There's this amazing person. Her name is Sabrina Zohar. She does relationship stuff on social media. And she talks about when your relationship ends, you're not mourning the end of that relationship, because somewhere in your head, you knew this wasn't working. What you're mourning is the fantasy, is that you're not going to live the fantasy that you had constructed in your head about this. And part of growing as an adult is dating or being part of relationships and realizing that you are not the person or whatever, and figuring out that that's okay. And growing from those things, and hopefully still being good with one another, even if you can't ever go back to the town that they live in. So, okay, I have another quick question. Since we're in couples, we'll get back to the food thing in a second. Who's a better couple, Harry and Sally or Jess and Marie?
Ooh. In what way?
Because better or favorite? Because those I think are very different.
Oh, either way, define it however you want. What's your favorite couple? Are you a Harry Sally team or are you Jess and Marie?
Harry and Sally are my favorite, but Jess and Marie are very clearly the better couple.
Oh, okay.
I love the way that they meet too, where she quotes him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wrote that. She's like, I never quote anything. And then they're sort of walking along and it's like, maybe don't leave. That whole scene of maybe don't leave. He's really fragile. I don't know if you should, because and then they just escape in a cab together.
And they're having sex immediately. They are in bed within 45 minutes. And having galactically amazing sex. All right, I have some food related questions. Here, let's start next with your picky.
I love
Tom.
that we've just accepted that I'm just correct on this. I love that you
Do you want to debate
completely
this?
Ceded that. No, Jason, I did not expect you to simply
we all
give in.
agree.
Well, I want to get to the food things. Is what I want to go to. I want to get to the food choices.
You're hungry. You didn't have dinner.
I have not made dinner. I'm going to make spaghetti tonight.
Okay.
Right now, I'm having on an empty stomach is an entire bottle of 19 Crimes Red Blend. It's an Australian red. It's really terrific.
It's a good one.
I've been drinking 19 Crimes since 2008. Really, since I moved to Tallahassee, I found this at a place where it's one of my favorite wines. It's easy drinking wine. It's not sponsoring the show right now. However, Australians.
We take sponsorships.
Australians, I love Shiraz. I love Cab. I love it when you mix it together. So if you want to come on, and it's also history related. You've got in every single cork, you've got one of the crimes that would send you from England to Australia. Tonight's crime is grand larceny, theft above the value of 1 shilling. So that is your 19 Crimes brought to you, which does not bring you our podcast, but that'd be really cool if you did.
I love that.
All right.
Perfect.
Thank you for that. I appreciate those of you who made it through my Australian accent, which I think is pretty good.
I've heard worse.
Thank you. All right. So let's talk about food. Kate, you were going to talk about your food, your food pickiness. Like, what do you got?
Well, I'm not necessarily picky, but I like a lot of things. I like a lot of things on the side. Don't just slop all the dressing on the salad. Put it in a ramekin on the side so I can drizzle it on there. And I agree with her about the ice cream on the apple pie, right? Like, you don't want it on the apple pie because it makes everything soggy. You want it off to the side. And if you don't have the flavor that I want, then I would like some whipped cream. And if you don't have the whipped cream, then I don't want the pie at all. Like, these things. And the thing is, she knows all the options and she runs through all the options because she's run into this issue before. And the server has come back and said, we don't have this. Would you like this? And so she just heads it all off at the pass and makes it very easy to me.
That's fine. But what about you, Kate Sheppard? What are your food hangups?
I don't like onions.
What the fuck? Onions are the best thing ever.
Here's a good story. I asked for this salad with no onions on it, and it came to me with onions. And so I didn't even let the guy put it down on my table. And I said, I'm sorry, I asked for this with no onions. And he goes, you're right, you did. He goes away. He comes back, and there's no onions on the top. So I start like digging through the salad. Guess what? All the onions are still in the middle. They had just pulled onions off the top.
Oh, I would have thrown a fit.
Oh, are you ready for what I did? It was kind of an empty restaurant, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And so he was like behind the front counter. So I just walked over, and I was like, and normally I don't do this, but like he wasn't coming over. So I walk over and I was like, listen, I asked for no onions. You took it back. There's onions all throughout this. I would prefer a fresh salad if you don't mind. And I set it down and I walked away. And his manager was standing right next to him. And she just looked at me like this. But I was like, I don't care. I asked for it with no onions. Right. I'm asking for it with no onions. I'm going to pay for it. He came back and he brought it and he set it down. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to take it off your bill. And I said, no, because I'm going to eat it. Like, if I'm going to eat the food, then I'm going to pay for the food. Like, I don't want you to
just want the way I want it.
I just wanted you to fix it, and you fixed it, and now we're fine.
Right,
like, there's no problem. You fixed it. So no onions.
Okay. Thomas?
I don't like Jell-O or flavored chips.
No flavored chips.
I'm not a big barbecue chip guy. Yeah.
I think the flavors are weird and they taste artificial, and I don't like the artificiality. If you want to give me like a sour cream and onion dip to dip a plain chip in, I'm happy to do that, but the fakeness bothers me. If you're gonna give, like, I don't want barbecue sauce in my chips, and fake flavored barbecue powder is weird. I will eat an aged cheddar and red onion chip in England. It is the only flavor I've had that I actually like. The cheddar and sour cream makes me think of the aged cheddar and red onion enough that I can eat them, but I'd rather not. I just want a plain chip. I just don't want weird flavoring powder on. Jell-O, it's the texture, it weirds me out.
I don't eat white condiments.
Wow.
You don't eat white condiments.
That's true. You don't.
I do not eat white condiments. Like I will not.
That's fine.
Probably, I don't like mayonnaise,
mayo.
and then people go, "Well, what about aioli?" Aioli. I'm like, "The fuck, man! Of course I don't eat aioli."
I say that to you every time,
dude. Like, how about tartar sauce? No, I don't want mayonnaise and pickles.
I just need you to understand the likelihood that I'm going to try to sneak mayonnaise into your food.
I can assure you,
is now very
like
high.
that happened one time. I was stoned off my ass, and I was on a couch, and some friends of mine, we were at a party, and they tried to like put mayonnaise on me. And I swear to God, I awoke from my stoned ass stupor, right? It jumped backwards over the couch in an acrobatic thing. I have a nickname called Mayo amongst a group of my friends because I hate mayonnaise so much. But that doesn't just expand to mayonnaise. No sour cream, no ranch, no blue cheese, right? I don't eat white condiments.
That's absolutely fine.
It's just nasty.
Do you know why? Like, you just don't like the taste?
I mean, it's like a guideline. Really, because like I don't eat blue, like I'll eat like gravy. That's different. But I will not eat mayonnaise, and I don't drink Pepsi. Right?
No, we know that.
Well, there's like the holy trinity of the things that I hate: is mayonnaise, Pepsi Cola, and the state of Indiana. So
that's fair.
Fair. So I don't eat any, but I don't eat white condiments.
Okay. So I'm going to ask this because I think it goes back to the pickiness rather than food preferences. Because like, there are also plenty of foods I don't like to eat. Like, I'm not a huge seafood person unless I'm on the coast, and I'm getting better about it. I grew up in Missouri, and I live in Iowa. Like, I should not be eating the seafood here.
Okay.
True.
But my general thing is that if I'm at someone's house and they feed me food, I will eat it. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what I like it.
Fuck that. Not me.
No. I get that. I'm not
You
saying
give me
this
coleslaw.
Is a way life. I'm saying that the anxiety means that the hospitality requirement is that if you feed me, I'm going to eat the food, and I'm going to say nothing unless we are close enough that I'd be like, hey, this is not my jam.
No, coleslaw and potato salad for old people at reunions.
By that point.
I ain't eating them. Right? I am not doing it.
I love a coleslaw.
So nasty.
I'll take those off your plate.
If it's got mayonnaise in it, I am not touching it. I will throw that shit against the fucking wall. I don't care where you're at. You have assaulted like my ancestors.
See, I love that. I love that clarity of self.
Like, I know who I am, and I know what I hate.
Knowing what she wants. Like, if I came over to your house, just like, we've been friends for a while, but like, you've never cooked for me before. If I came to your house and you fed me, even if I hated it, first time I'd eat it.
First and foremost, nobody ever doesn't like my food. I'm the best. I'm the best cook, and I'm the best cook.
That's why I could say this to you, and everyone knows that I'm using this as an example. We all know that you are actually
the best there is.
In the world.
I just get up and piss excellence.
Yes. Okay. Please don't put that in my food. That is not the condiment I want in my food, Jason.
All right. I've got a question related to food. I need to talk about the cat. We got to talk about the scene, the most famous scene in this film. We couldn't not talk about the Cat's Deli scene.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, first and foremost, before we get into that, I need to talk about this. I don't like delis. I don't like delis, and I don't like bistros. This is another thing that's related to my thing.
You don't like bistros?
Yeah.
You mean an American bistro, right? Like the sad abomination that they call, because you would never insult France that way to my face.
Okay, well, first I could, because what are they going to do? Run away? That's fine.
Je vais te tuer, mon ami. Je vais te tuer avec une épée. Tu vas mourir petit par petit.
Right. Something about killing you. I
don't want anything. I don't want anything. I don't want to go to your petite party. Okay. What I will say is that a bistro, all that is short for is like you get a roast beef sandwich and some chips. Some unflavored chips.
Right, okay. You mean an American bistro.
Yeah,
yes, we can hate on American bistros. Because I'm thinking, you say a bistro, and I'm picturing a big old, like a boeuf bourguignon on my plate in a dark corner, and there's accordion music in the background, and the wine is local, and it is heavenly, and I am day drunk.
Lots of bread. Big thing of bread.
All the bread.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a chocolate mousse coming in at the end just for me, and I'm going to be fat and happy in the corner.
All right. I have both a man and a woman as my guests here. So I'm going to ask a question to both of you. Is it appropriate to fake an orgasm?
You need to give more context than that.
During sex.
Great. That's not a contextless question.
Just not at a deli.
Have you ever had Katz's Deli's pastrami though? Like, I don't.
That is not a fake.
We're not talking. No,
right
okay. So so here, let me just I myself have faked orgasms before. What? Guys can fake an orgasm. Yeah, of course. I have insane stamina. After a while, I just like run out of energy, right? I'm like, I have to like convince her that I am also satisfied, right? I don't want, like, you think of like, oh, women are pretending. No, listen, it goes both ways. Okay. So I have had to be like, oh no, this is really terrific. I'm really having a great time. I'm meeting you at the levels I am not. I'm at that point in time, my abs are giving out, right? There's full sweat in weird spaces. You know, I'm like, I have to bring this to a close. So yeah, of course, right? So yeah. But you know, I don't want anyone to feel bad about their performance. So
well, I think that's right. You don't want anyone to feel bad.
Perception
you want
is reality.
To be happy. Mm-hmm.
So that's that is kind of where I'm going with this. Thomas, is it appropriate?
I mean, sure. I don't want to make a general rule that it's not. I think it really is saying specific. In a long-term healthy relationship, I don't think you should have to.
Yep.
That's fair. Okay. But
I would agree with that. Yeah.
If you're in a relationship that's lasted any amount of time and is a real relationship, you should be okay with just actually having normal conversations and just like, if things happen, things don't happen, everything's fine. Everyone can move on with no one's feelings hurt.
Let me tell you something.
If you're hooking up with randos, I gotta be honest, I wouldn't really know.
Well, I mean, I've never hooked up with.
I'm
randos.
not the most interesting person, man. I don't know what to tell you. That's not my jam.
Well,
anxiety.
I mean, I guess like if you're in a relationship, like sometimes like, hey, I needed to finish so we could cuddle, you know, because I just want to be there for you on another level. That is the thing. All right, I'm just gonna move on. Go on, Kate. I see you making a face.
We're just like, listen. Why did you make this two guys talking about faking it? Like, what's going on?
Well, Kate's making faces over there, and I'm like, does Kate want to continue in the conversation?
Well, no. I was just gonna say, that I, like kind of like what Thomas was saying. If it's, you know, someone that you've been out with a few times or whatever, and it's just kind of like, you don't really see this going anywhere. I think it's polite. Sometimes, but like, yeah, in a long-term relationship, there's absolutely no need.
Like, honey, I'm done. I'm good. We had a nice time. It's good to go. 7 out of 10.
But also, there's enough, I think, communication where you wouldn't have to fake anything because it's working out very well.
Totally. Okay. I want to ask you guys this. Is Billy Crystal the most unlikely leading man of the 1980s?
Yes.
Continue.
That's a wide range, but
okay, because
look at his competition.
I asked my husband Dan before I came in here, what is your favorite part about When Harry Met Sally? He does not like this movie. So his favorite part, Meg Ryan, because she's in her prime. His least favorite part, Billy Crystal, because he is a very unlikely leading man. At this point in time, we can see that he's going to lose his hair, that his hairline is at least receding. He's short. He's going to be, right. He's got kind of a sort of like a high pitched voice, whatever. He's not your normal. If this scene or if this movie, and Jason, I know you like to think about this sometimes, if we were to recast this today, it would not be a Billy Crystal-esque type character, which I think would be to the detriment of the film because he's an unlikely leading man, but also that means that he is going off of his acting chops and the development of his character. And so it's going to be a lot of dialogue that Nora Ephron is infamous for.
She's so good.
And rightly so.
She's such a great writer. But I'm sorry, aesthetically, they dressed the shit out of Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
In this, he starts off schlubby, but rocks like that hood.
And then he grows a beard, and this is all it takes. All it takes is a
beard
bit
right
more
here.
facial.
Beard backward base. You know what it is? It's the cable knit sweater. Sweater.
That
and
cable knit
blue
sweater
jeans.
in that scene where they're fighting.
Yep. That does the work.
It does.
So, like, the problem is that this is not a typical rom-com. So I don't think he's the most unlikely leading man given what the film is.
Right? I don't think Billy Crystal's an unattractive human. He's not Harrison Ford.
Not in the 80s. He wasn't.
He's not. Yeah. But I think the thing is that like most rom-coms have only the barest pretenses of people actually communicating and meeting in any way. It's all like he saw her once in the distance and fell madly in love, and we're just going to pretend that this is real and we're going to wander on as if this is normal. And this is an entire movie about what if talking was good for you.
Yep.
Like, this is just a movie about banter. This is not traditional rom-com. And the fact that it's such a powerful and important, beloved rom-com is because people keep missing the boat on what makes a relationship magical. And then rom-coms sell you the negative vision that, like, a rom-com is about... I'm going to read something at you because I can.
You
because
teased this in a text message earlier.
You notated books for us.
I teach a class who's, it's an honors seminar on Hope in the Age of Apocalypse. And it's all post-apocalyptic literature.
I can't wait for them to hear your thoughts on faking an orgasm, but go on.
I listen, that's fine. They can listen to this later. So one of my favorite novels I teach two of my favorite novels in that class.
Which are?
Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, which I adore, and that's the book I end the class with. And then one that's not a post-apocalyptic, Camilla Shamsi's Home Fire, which is, I think, a profoundly beautiful book and heart-wrenching, and it's in the 2010s, and it deals with ISIS and racism and Islamophobia and love. And there is a passage in this. You think marriage is in the large things, Mrs. Rahimi had once said. It's in the small things. Can you survive the arguments about housework? Can you learn to live with each other's different TV viewing habits? He thought of Anika opening his kitchen drawers, mocking the cherry pitter that pits cherries, the apple core that cores apples, a life of small things forming between them. It's a movie about talking and about the fact that talking is what makes you fall in love. You don't make rom-coms like this anymore because we want the fancy upgraded version of a Hallmark movie where you do a Valentine's Day. And I hate Valentine's Day because what Valentine's Day suggests is that the secret of love is grand gestures where you just throw money at the problem instead of understanding. Right? Flowers are lovely when you go to the grocery store and you see them when you're picking up groceries and you bring them home just because it's a Tuesday and the person you're with likes flowers, and it just like flowers on a Tuesday are better than flowers on a Valentine's Day. It doesn't matter what day of the week Valentine's Day is. It's about gestures. It's picking up cookies on the way home from work because the people at home who you care about like cookies. Right? It is going.
It's a text when you're on your way home going, is there anything I can pick up for you that I might not have thought about? Yeah.
It is staying on the phone with someone until they're falling asleep because they've had a rough day and they're far away and you love them. It is watching TV shows together, even if you hate the TV show, because if it matters to the other person matters to you. So the things that matter to them matter to you.
It is pictures of chicken pot pie on a text message.
It is not. It is absolutely not in any way. But I am going to do everyone other than you the decency of not continuing that thread of conversation. Jason, finding refuge in the pod.
But it is in those little things. It's in moving the rug, right? And helping him figure out what direction the rug goes. It's going to pick out a present for Marie and Jess together and singing Surrey with the Fringe on Top and arguing about the fucking wagon wheel table, right? And then and being with each other in those moments and then also at the same time apologizing, right? Because they're yelling at each other on the street and he's like, "Are you done?" And she's like, "Yeah." And
I love that.
"I'm sorry."
I love how he immediately recognizes he's in the wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like, "I'm sorry." And they hug it out. And it's like, this is a healthy relationship, right? Between friends.
Yeah.
And, I've got friends of mine who I absolutely love. And it's like, here's the other thing that I love about like a real friendship. A real friendship can survive not talking for months when you're mad at each other. Like, and you just go, "I'm so fucking mad at you. I'm not going to talk to you for a while because you disappoint me right now." It's like, but it's also being comfortable in that relationship to go, we're going to like, we'll work this out. And then the worry on the part of Harry in this film is like, am I going to get her back? Because he's like leaving all these, and I'm wondering, like, as I was watching this, is like, was this too much when Harry was like messaging her, like leaving messages and stuff like that? It's like you're trapped under a rock,
If it's either A or C, call me back.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that was too much because he was pursuing her. And I know that there's this whole, and I agree with it. If someone asks you out on a date and they tell you no, stop asking, right? It's not this whole, you Fred Astaire, keep chasing me down when I clearly hate you kind of thing. understand that no means no, but they were friends, right? And so he's like, we need to get back to being friends. And so that is not a just leave her alone, she's told you no. This is a no, we're friends and we need to get back to that.
And I think like that, I think that's also, he's not pursuing her, asking her out on a date. He's like,
yeah,
it's like, I just want you back.
I miss you. I want my
in my
friend
life
back.
Yeah.
I want my friend back. And also after 12 years, it's different than like Say Anything, where he's out there with a boombox and just like, oh, fuck, we'll go to the dance.
Well, but I also, and I know we're not doing our favorite lines right now, and this is not one of my favorite ones, but what I do want to go back to is what Thomas was talking about of the little things and like supporting the little things. And at the end, when they're talking about, and I'm looking because my second thing, and, you know, they said, we had this enormous coconut cake. She said, a huge coconut cake with tears. There was a very rich chocolate sauce on the side. And then he says, right, because not everybody likes it on the cake because it makes it very soggy. Like, he's like, yes, I'm embracing. Even if I don't care if it's on there or not, he's like, this is what she wanted and I fully support it. And that, like, it's at the very end, but you're like, he totally gets her.
Yeah. All right. You want to go to quotes here? I asked you the only
prep. Go first.
Please, yeah, Tom, go ahead. So if you're listening in, the only prep I did for this was to ask Thomas and Kate to come up with your favorite quote, because this film is so full of such delicious dialogue. Like, there's so much.
And I will. Can I just say, to my credit, the last time you did this, you asked it was me and Colin, and you asked us a question, and I responded in the text, and you're like, "Don't tell me now."
Right.
So I didn't do that today.
Right.
I did not.
You did a good job. Because you were like, let me tell you all my things. I'm like, thank you for ruining the magic.
I get it now.
Okay.
Okay, it's Thomas.
Okay, so I'm doing it so that Jason can just be mad at me because he deserves it after making the chicken pot pie comment. But I'm not going to take the famous line, because the famous line is a really great ending line, but it's the part before that actually matters. And so I went first. Okay. I think I'm stealing both of your lines, and I don't care. I'm French. I will be that person. I love that you get cold when it's 71 degrees out. Yes. I love that it takes you an hour and a half to order a sandwich. I love that you get a little crinkle above your nose when you're looking at me like I'm nuts.
He's so in love with her.
I love that after I spend the day with you, I can still smell your perfume on my clothes. And most importantly, and I love that you are the last person I want to talk to before I go to sleep at night. Love is in the details, the small, perfect, beautiful, ordinary moments that make up a life. It doesn't matter that it's New Year's. It matters that it's her.
Yeah. Kathleen?
I like this one because it makes me cackle every single time. When they're talking about, she didn't, she was like, oh, I wasn't going to sleep with you because you were dating my friend Amanda or whatever. And he says, and was it worth it? The sacrifice for a friend you don't even keep in touch with? And she says, Harry, you might not believe this, but I never considered not sleeping with you a sacrifice.
The line is so good.
It is so good. And I love it too, because there's so many times when he comes at her with something so ridiculous and she's just like, listen, no. And another one, you may be the first attractive woman I've not wanted to sleep with in my entire life. That's wonderful, Harry. Like, she's like, you are so
the way
ridiculous.
She bats him off, bats him away. And he's like, so if it comes into my head, I'm going to say it out loud.
Yep.
All right, so I have to do this. Like, and because I'm claiming this, because this is maybe my single favorite quote from any film ever made.
Whoa.
Ever. The final scene. When you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. And I had that in my mind. I was dating somebody, I was dating the librarian, and I flew into Denver on New Year's Eve, 2019. And the plan was to fly back into Denver on New Year's Eve, 2020. And to ask the librarian to marry me with that quote. I had planned out a year ahead of time that I was going to ask her to marry me then, with this film quote in mind, because it was so perfect. And then the world changed and so forth, and now I've made everything all sad. But it doesn't change the fact, this is one of the most perfect quotes ever made. It's just actually Fletcher, just cut all that because it's gonna make everybody sad.
No, it's great.
It's just one of the most. It's so true though. It's that moment when you're like, I can't not live without this person in my life.
Yep.
Right. And it's just so impossibly perfect. The way she looks at him, she's like, I want to hate you. I do hate you. But, I mean, the only word I can think of, the only line I can think of that's anywhere remotely as beautiful as this, there's two lines. One is ditto from Ghost. And then the single most beautiful or most romantic line in the history of the world. I know.
I know.
Yes. Yeah. How did you know I was going to say that?
Because Jason, how long have we been talking? Like, I'm sorry. What else is that going to be?
It's I know. It's Harrison Ford. The single most romantic line in the history of film is "I know" from Empire Strikes Back. Mm-hmm. It's just also featuring Carrie Fisher. So
yeah.
So there you go. Okay.
I love that that's your line, and I love that it's a nice one.
It still remains my line. Huh?
What's your second favorite line? Because mine shifts tone dramatically.
Okay, go ahead and give me your second favorite line.
It's amazing. You look like a normal person, but actually, you were the angel of death.
Wasn't that after he was like
because eventually things move on and you don't take someone to the airport, and I never want anyone to say to me, how come you never take me to the airport anymore?
Yep.
Can I give you one that made me cackle? And I've seen this movie so many times.
Yeah.
Jess. Marriages don't break up on account of infidelity. It's just a symptom of something else is wrong. Harry, oh really? Well, that symptom is fucking my wife. I'm like, it's just the deadpan delivery of that.
And it was the same conversation where he was like, when did you plan this? And she's like, about a week ago.
Oh, yeah.
So don't fuck with Mr. Zero knew about the breakup of his wedding, of his marriage before he did.
Yeah, it's God, there's so much. Nora Ephron just wrote her ass off here.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going through quotes, and it's so. The meow line is so good. The meow line is just it's not even the words. It's the ways in which these friends talk to each other. And the scene in which afterwards, where the four of them are on the phone with each other after Harry and Sally have sex for the first time. And do you know how this was shot? So It was Billy Crystal in one soundstage, Meg Ryan in another soundstage, and Bruno Kirby and Carrie Fisher in a third soundstage. They were all actually on the phone with each other to do the dialogue and all this, right? Wow. And here's the kicker. It took them 61 takes to get that scene correct.
Okay, because there's no cuts.
There's no cuts in that, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, Rob Reiner said they got it on the 54th, and then Kirby messed up the last line. So they had to go all over again for another 7 takes. But it's such a perfect thing. Like if you watch the way that their phones hang up and got, it's perfect.
That is a great scene. Yeah.
All right. I have a question for you. And this is maybe as historians, as the contingency here, right? Here's our big question. When Harry Met Sally, do you want to see a remake of this film set in 2025? Or do you want to see a sequel with this couple, with these characters 30 years later?
Or C, do I want to cut out my own eyeballs with a spoon rather than A or B? And I gotta be honest, if those are my options, C is really strong. And don't touch this film. Don't do it. Stop it. Don't ruin this for me, Jason.
I ruined many things.
Or maybe it's maybe their kids, one of their kids has gone off to college or something, because, and we talked about this with Notting Hill, not to ruin the Notting Hill episode.
I love that episode.
Because often when they bring back a sequel, there's some sort of relational strife in the original relationship.
I don't want that.
And no.
I want to know that they have a happily ever after, and their kids went off to Barnard. Their daughter went off to Barnard or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
And maybe they're on the periphery. Their idea that everybody is living the main character of their own film. like I would love to see maybe a story in which like my quirky parents got together over 12 years ago, and heck, they would be grandparents now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's that. I mean, that's what would like. It would be interesting.
They've been married almost 40 years by now,
and now they live in Boca. They live in they live in Florida now.
I think they live in a brownstone in Brooklyn.
You think they're still in Brooklyn? Okay, all right, first here's my so here's my question. Let's chart out the path for Harry and Sally. A, are they still together in 2025?
Yeah.
Thomas? Thomas?
I don't know. And I don't think any of us can know. And I don't think it's possible to know. And that is not because they're fictional characters, but that's because who people are in a moment of time when they're good together is not who they'll become. And that doesn't mean that they're not great together at the moment. That just means that people grow and change in unexpected ways. And maybe they don't make it. And I don't think that's a bad thing. If you want to think about who they are now, you'd actually have to have real people who are living a real life. And who knows if they'd still be together.
Yeah, that answer's wrong. They're absolutely together. They're together,
because I
and
think
their
part
grandparents.
of the movie is that they are living life together for 5 years as best friends, and so they learn how to do that with each other, and then they get involved romantically.
You know, we've asked this question a lot of times that we come up like this couple did not make it. I think this couple makes it.
Mm-hmm.
My other question is like,
it's possible to know.
What do you want? Do you want this couple to make it? Do you want them to make it?
Oh, of course I want them to. I love this movie. I think this is a great movie. I just also think the beauty of this movie is two people who are capable of profound amounts of change over time. And in this moment, they find each other in a moment that they're ready for each other and right for each other. And they're lucky enough to have each other in their lives. That doesn't mean that will always be true. And that doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Ooh, literally there was thunder in my house when you said that.
Love that. God is angry at me for my take.
All right, check this out. This is going to be me being a historian on this. Ready? Here's why. Here's why they survive. Not only, as Kate just said, they've established a friendship and a working dialogue and have grown together before coming together. Okay, they're also they're a couple that comes together older in life. They're past 30 by the time they actually get together, right? And then there are boomers going through one of the great times, and they do not have to deal with the difficulties. I mean, they get to survive. They get to go through the .com economy. They do not have economic strife, household struggles, anything like they're not having to overcome a lot of the issues that many contemporary couples are having to overcome, created by the baby boomer generation. So, I'm
envisioning them. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
What if these universes were the same? They are Benjamin Barry's parents in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Is that McConaughey?
And Kate Hudson.
Ooh.
I don't hate that.
They're off on Long Island, I think, or Staten Island or something like that. But like, they get along. Their family is big. They're laughing a lot.
I think they're still in Harry's apartment.
You think so?
I think
Harry's apartment.
I think they've invested in a bigger.
Yeah, but they're going to raise kids. They are
huge.
absolutely going to have kids together.
Rent control. It's true.
Yeah.
They're absolutely going to have kids together.
Are they?
Yeah, because she wanted kids.
She wanted kids.
Okay.
And Harry, and we, as we know, Harry wants to give Sally everything that she wants, and we know this from the chocolate and coconut cake comments.
I think you're reading an awful lot into the honeymoon period, but that's okay.
Oh no!
I believe in a thing called love, Thomas.
And I say this, I love Harry. I love Harry, and I think he grows profoundly by the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. I just don't know that level of growth makes him great. I think there's potential for greatness. You just want to fast forward 40 years. I don't know. I want to
live it with him, man.
90s.
I want to know what it's like to be a baby boomer in New York, dude. Like, this would be awesome. And, greatest period of American wealth in history. Yeah, I want to know what that's like instead of being some hillbilly from Kentucky growing up in the aftermath. So there's there.
Okay. That's
All right, here's my question.
Jason, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
I want to ask you a question. I want to ambush you with a question.
Ooh.
Who do you cast in the remake of this movie? The abomination of a remake that no one wanted and no one asked for, but they have
Joseph
made
Gordon-Levitt.
anyway because they hate us.
And
Zooey Deschanel.
No!
500 Days
with
of
her
Summer
new
is
face?
500 Days of Summer ripped my guts out. Right? Actually, you know what? I think Gosling's too handsome, but Gosling has that banter about him.
As if Joseph Gordon-Levitt isn't? What are you saying?
Dude,
but I agree with you on the banter.
Ryan Gosling and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are not the same plane. Like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is, and I love that dude. 500 Days of Summer is one of my favorite films. We're going to do that on this pod because you give me that scene where they come out to Hall & Oates when he's doing the synchronized dancing. I watched 500 Days of Summer and wanted to wear vests all the time. I want to be the guy.
Don't do it.
I don't have the body type to rock a vest like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but I wish that I could.
I'm glad you're aware of that.
No. And like the most satisfying part of The Dark Knight Rises is when we find out his middle name is Robin. I'm a Joseph Gordon-Levitt stan.
Yeah,
and he's my favorite character in Inception.
That's fair.
That whole scene where he's fighting the hole.
I can also see Ryan Gosling.
Okay, so let's cast this. All right. So we need a guy who's not ugly, but not conventionally handsome. It's Harry.
Is that the most important part of what makes Billy Crystal's character interesting?
No, but he's an everyman kind of thing. And I think that in a lot of ways, that's the reason why when sitcoms are often cast the gorgeous woman with the regular looking guy, because it's an aspirational thing, because guys go, I could get her. Right? Regular looking dudes want to project and think I could get. And I'm thinking about, was that show with Kevin, do you know how to talk about? And the woman with the fake
James?
Kevin James and the woman with the fake nails.
Ramini?
No, I can't remember. Yeah, something like that. She was in Scientology.
Leah Remini.
Leah Remini, right? So the fake nails gross me out. So gross. Kate knows his hair because every time she brings something up, I'm like, you know what grosses me out? Eyeliner.
I'm getting my nails done tomorrow.
You have that. You're married to somebody else. You go nuts. I don't.
Okay. But who's like an everyman who's not? I mean,
who's an everyman now? That okay. Oh, I have here. It's like, who is the most known?
What about like a Pedro Pascal?
Because I think Pedro Pascal's in too many goddamn movies, and he's older than me.
Okay. I also think that part of it is that you like need someone who's sad but not in an attractive way.
Okay.
And Pedro Pascal has really cornered the market on hot and sad right now. And like, that's not
fair.
Right. I know that he has the range, but like Pedro Pascal is sad hot right now. I have a choice. I think
I put average looking actors on the internet, and the first thing came up with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. No, I was going to suggest Andrew Garfield. Not because he's average looking, because he's not, but because
he's having a moment. He's with Monica Barbaro right now. And good for
I don't care about who he's with. That is not the thing that I find interesting. I know. That's not the thing I find interesting. I think that he is someone with really wide range who also manages to portray anxiety and pain and despair while talking.
You also need a 30-something actor.
Charming.
Okay.
He's 42 now. He's 42 now. That's fair.
He's too old, right?
So he can still play his 20s because this is Hollywood.
Yeah, and do you know Billy Crystal's 13 years older than Meg Ryan? Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, okay, so you know who would have been perfect about 20 years ago, and if you were to, Paul Rudd would have done well with this role.
Oh, Paul Rudd would have done really well with this role. Paul Rudd has the right kind of.
You know, there's a problem in that we actually don't have a stable of younger actors. Like the only person you could think of is like Timothée Chalamet, but he's not the right guy for this.
What about like a Brendan Fraser even now looking kind of guy? Not Mummy, because that is not average.
Okay. See, I was going to say Michael B. Jordan, but he's the most beautiful man alive.
He's not average.
I have a person in mind. What?
The second that he said, "Hey, do you want it?" Yes, I do.
Damn it. What's which one is he? Dylan O'Brien, Love and Monsters. He does Anxious and Kind of a Mess really well in that movie. And he is bound to not be in his 40s yet.
Okay, I got a couple.
He's 34. He's 34 and from New York.
Okay, I got a couple for you. Are you ready? 1, Jesse Plemons.
Oh, well,
Really
listen,
good.
I love
Adam
Jesse
Driver.
Plemons.
Kind of old.
I think that's the problem is age, but like he's 37. Fuck it. Yes,
I'm struggling
do it.
here. I think you'd actually have
Oh my god. No, you cast Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst and you just run with it.
See, I think you cast Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst in the Jess and Marie characters.
Ooh, I love that.
I think they would be.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That.
Yeah.
They would be amazing as Jess and Marie. I think their chemistry, they are two of the best. And I said this when we were doing the watch party on Saturday night. Who would have thought that Jesse Plemons would have been one of the great actors of his generation? But he absolutely is. Anytime you see Jesse Plemons in a show, he absolutely elevates it. I think you actually have to. Here's my thing. I think you actually have to pick somebody out from the stand-up circuit who's not necessarily I think that's probably where you'd have. I think that's the farm, and that's the thing they were really doing in the '80s was pulling these guys. I think maybe somebody from Saturday Night Live. That were not that were maybe not.
What about Pete Davidson? He's got Anxious. He's got Average Looking Dude.
No, but you know who I got?
No,
the dude from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We're close.
Andy Samberg.
Andy Samberg.
Andy Samberg is too adorable. I think he could do it. I think he has the range, but I think you need to see him in a movie where he showcases that range to really believe it. You know who I wish you could if we had this conversation a decade ago? Oscar Isaac a decade ago, because I know that he's hot. I know these people. Listen, have you seen 10 Years?
I'm not.
It is not. It is not a good movie. I want to be clear. It's not a good movie. Most of the movie is a disaster. But his plot line with Kate Mara in that movie is the only part that's actually scripted and not ad-libbed, and it's great.
Okay.
He performs in it. It's an entire movie about him showing up at his high school reunion after becoming a famous musician on the off chance that this one girl shows up. And he is a nervous, frantic wreck the entire time, even while he's being charming. And he's talking really fast. And he's at the bar. And he's popping in and out with all of his friends who are all ad-libbing. Everyone is in this movie. It is a movie with everyone in it. And it is so much worse than the cast should allow it to be because they decide to just ad-lib us. But like, it's Channing Tatum, Rosario Dawson, Chris Pratt, Jenna Dewan, Oscar Isaac, Scott Porter, Aubrey Plaza's in it. Anthony Mackie's in it.
What about Jason Segel? He's too old now.
He's too old now.
Like, there was a great.
What about the guy in Superman who?
You mean Superman?
Is British. He's in
Nicholas
Superman.
Holt. Nicholas Holt. Nicholas Holt is wonderful.
Yeah. He's too pretty. Too pretty. He's too pretty for
Did you see Warm Bodies though? He could do this.
Yes. Oh,
I
that
just
was such
feel
a
like
good
you
movie.
gotta. You have to
Have we done Warm Bodies on the pod yet?
No,
I love that
fucking movie you're talking about. I feel like you gotta get a schlub. Hold on just a second. I'm Googling schlubby actors.
I think going with schlubby is actually like really underselling the fact that like he really, it's not that it's not the schlub that makes it. It's the quick-witted banter that makes it. And we had a stable of actors who that was their entire thing. And they've just kind of aged out of making this particular kind of movie. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we don't have the next great replacement because movie studios have stopped taking any interesting chances with films. And it's a real problem. And if they are, they want the most beautiful people you can possibly have doing it in hopes that they will sell tickets that way. There's nothing wrong with that gamble, but it's too bad.
And all actors have the same face now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really
they
too
all
bad.
have.
It's not
they're
that
all
they're
full of
bad
fillers.
at it, but,
I mean, the first person I thought about was Tom Holland, but again, he doesn't look that he's too handsome. I really think they hit lightning in a bottle with Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie is perfectly cast. It was like this movie comes along at the right time. With the right actors, with the right director, with the right screenwriter. This is, in my mind,
Efron cannot be beat.
No, and this sets the stage. I think at the end of the day, every single rom-com since this film is judged against When Harry Met Sally. This film is perfection,
and they're all lesser for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the only films that can really stand up against it are going to be Sleepless in Seattle.
Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks.
You've Got Mail.
You've Got Mail, I think,
Meg Ryan
is
and
a
Tom
better
Hanks.
one. You've Got Mail, but also the entire relationship is based on communication, and it's charming up until you then do the, oh, we didn't know who we were.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think I just don't. I think the only thing that you can compare this to is actually Sleepless in Seattle. But I think that this film is the single best rom com. It is perfectly. And one of the things that I love about this film is like Tom said this earlier. Like none of the exes are bad guys. There's no person showing up to like ruin the day. What keeps these people the tension is, will these people get to where we need to be, where we need them to be as people?
Yeah.
It's a perfect film. This is a perfect film. I mean, this is Raiders of the Lost Ark of rom-coms. It's that good.
Yeah, I would say so. And and like you're saying, they have all the elements of all of the rom-coms that come later, right? They've got the meet cute. They've got the best friend. They've got the weird relationships. They've got the restaurant scene. They've got the writers, right? Their jobs are writing, and it's sort of this random creator thing going on. Because if you had to recast this now, they'd be like a friggin' TikToker, or they'd do social media for
be influencers,
Vogue or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Thomas's face. Exactly.
No, I don't want that. Please don't remake this film. That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Well, that is the worst thing. And that's the worst thing that happens to films anymore, is they go, this was great. Let's recast and remake it, because it would never.
But this is a film that's perfect and cannot be touched. You know, there are films that I would love to see a new take on, like Last Starfighter. I would love to see what happens. And I don't even want to remake a Last Starfighter. I want to see. I'm a big fan of I want to follow this storyline, not immediately, but what happens when Alex is a much older man and he's now a general or so forth, and these guys have come back or whatever, right?
Can I ask a philosophical question?
Oh boy, hold on. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is part of the reason why you can't recreate this movie that the world where people met through mutual friends and chance encounters dead in favor of apps, and that is why you can't make a compelling rom-com anymore?
Yeah, because there's probably a disconnect, right? Because that's not how people meet anymore. And I keep seeing all this stuff recently about the death of dating apps and stuff, right? Whenever all you really have to do is meet somebody at a history conference.
The desire to throw something at my camera right now.
Bad idea. And I saw, I was scrolling through TikTok the other day, and this woman was like, I met a boy in the Trader Joe's line, and it had 200,000 likes, and people were like, how come I can't meet someone like this? How come it's only on the apps? How come this? How come that? And it's because people aren't talking to each other in the Trader Joe's line anymore. Do you know what I mean? And I'm going to sound old when I say this. I am an old. I met my husband through a mutual friend. And
it reminded me to check my TikTok to see if you'd messaged me 14 times today. Go on.
Well, it'd be nice if you checked.
I'm so old I don't have a TikTok.
I have a TikTok only defensively.
And I am the youngest person in this conversation.
I have a TikTok defensively, so Kate won't say, how come you don't respond back to
I'm a 1985 baby, Kate. I'm just a wee thing. The reason we don't know each other is that you graduated before I transferred back. What year did you transfer? What year did you graduate from Truman?
2001.
Okay, yes, when I was in Kirksville with you as a sophomore.
High school student.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were high school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the oldest.
Well,
I know all the professors you know.
Yes, you do.
But just not from classes at the time.
I know all the professors, but that's because I'm famous.
It's true.
Let's just say
that's true.
I love that we're just letting you get away with that. That's beautiful.
But I think I think it's true. And we've been rewatching a bunch of Seinfeld at our house. And we say this a lot too, because we just rewatched the episode. It was the dinner party episode where Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Elaine and Jerry get dropped off at the bakery, and then Kramer and George go to get wine, and they get double parked. They get, they get stuck because somebody double parked with them. And so they're very late picking up Elaine and Jerry at the bakery. And these types of episodes would never happen anymore, because you would just pull out your cell phone and be like, we got blocked in, come walk this way and meet us, or we'll just meet you at the dinner party. And that didn't happen in 1988. It just didn't. And so there are so many situations that happen in films or on TV in the late 80s, early 90s, and obviously before cell phones or internet, it wouldn't be realistic to happen now, or a technology would have to go out. Someone would have to lose a cell phone, and then, you know what I mean? So, but I think that's a really good point, that like this, they wouldn't meet in the same way, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right. We all love this film. What are your final thoughts on this movie? Tom, I'll let you go first. Kate, you can have the final role.
Ooh.
She's older than you.
Beauty before
I'm like
age.
a year older than you, right? Like a year, yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
I just turned 46.
I'm way older than you. I'm 48 and having an existential crisis.
It's fine. I'm 40 over here. I just have less hair. I have the least amount.
You know what's awesome for men?
Just a little baby.
I was looking at pictures of me when I was 40.
All of the white hair and the balding to go with the being the little baby.
When I was 40, all of this shit was beautifully brown. So
love that
guess what's going to happen to you soon?
It's all going to I'm going to look like Santa Claus.
Oh yeah.
But without the elven labor, it's going to be fine. Okay, I love it. I'm gonna get spontaneously jacked as soon as I look like Santa.
I am rather jacked, sir.
You got to do the.
I like this shirt because it makes the arms really big. But go on.
I thank you for giving us free tickets to the gun show, Jason.
You guys see them all the time. I had people on getting really salacious on Blue Sky asking for more and more thirst traps, and I was like, I have a really high.
You post them.
I know, and I was like, I have a really high credit score. Like I was like, I'm emotionally available. So I go on.
So I'm going to give you two a homework assignment, and anyone listening. So my favorite poem, because I am a big softie, is "If I Had Three Lives" by Sarah Russell. And I'm not gonna read it. It's long enough that everyone can just look it up themselves, like grown-ups in their free time. I think my favorite thing about this movie is that both of them individually actually have really rich, full lives. Mm-hmm. They have friends, they have careers, they have places they go, they have things they do, they have activities, they have hobbies. They have full, rich, beautiful lives apart. And they don't need each other because their lives are empty. They need each other because they need each other. It is a love story about love as not filling a void in how you pass your time, but filling a void in your actual heart, and more than your heart, right? Because like we've all had crushes, we've all had those moments, like we all have, our hearts flutter and butterflies and things like that. But like filling the hole in your soul, right? Finding the empty place and finding the person who actually fits perfectly in it. Mm-hmm. And there's something profoundly beautiful about two people who just have so many possibilities that they can do and just want to spend their time doing them all together.
That's nice. Kate?
Two things. One, I think it ages relatively well in terms of I would show this to my kid in a couple of years. And the second thing is just how real it is. And I know we've already talked about this, but the dialogue, right? Harry's talking to Jess at I think a Giants game, mm-hmm. right? And they're doing all of these, they're doing the wave in between him going,
so great.
Don't fuck with Mr. Zero, knows this thing. I think that's really real. I think that we don't in terms of romantic comedies anymore, we see the highlights, right? And of course, I think of things like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, which I have also watched recently.
I've never seen that movie.
It's good-ish, right? And that,
yes,
but it's not real.
I don't like McConaughey as a rom-com guy.
Then you won't like it at all. But the scenes that they have are we have to show them having fun together. We have to show them having an argument. We have to show them doing this. We have to show them doing that. This was not formulaic. This was, they are on the phone at night. He's missing Helen. She's missing the idea of Joe, and he's groaning on the phone. She's like, okay, are you going to be okay? And he's like, yeah. They're like, good night. And those are the real things that friends do when they're in pain, when they're hurting. It's not just we're doing the paddle boats on the big lake in Central Park. They don't do that kind of stuff in this movie. And so I really like we've been talking about this whole time, the dialogue and the reality, I think, of a lot of it. What about you?
I love this film so much. It's swept up. I love the story of two people who are supposed to be together, who find their way to ultimately be together, and this realization that they can't not be together anytime. I love movies that perfectly situate a space and time, even if like it's a curated space and time. This is not the only version. It's a very white film, right? It's a very like, upper middle class film. It's giving us a very narrow view of what it means to live in New York City in the 1980s. But it's like, okay, that's not a necessary problem. Then you just need to go seek out other films like New Jack City or whatever to show us other stories of that, because this is the story that is true to these people. But it's a romantic story, and not just between these couple, but a love story of this city, of walking around, of the music, of Randy Newman singing stuff, of it is. It, like I said, I think it is the perfect romantic comedy. I just do. It is perfection in screenwriting and acting, and getting the couple with the perfect chemistry. Because as great as Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks are in their other films together, I think she's better with Billy Crystal in this. And as a person who loves film, this movie transports me to another place and time in which I wish I could have been part of this story. I wish I could have been a patron in some of the coffee shops in New York City. And so many times I wish I was born 20 years, 30 years earlier so I could have lived in this time period. And what I would have given to have lived in the 1980s and be a 20-something in this era in which seems anything is possible. So for me, there's this nostalgia of the limitless opportunities given to another generation, and of two people who were supposed to be together. I love this movie. It is a perfect film. That's what I got.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, my friends, we're going to call it. Oh, we're an hour and 29 minutes. We have gone exactly as long as this film is. This movie is an hour 30. We didn't even talk about how perfectly paced this film is. It's over an hour and a half. It's just a marvel of filmmaking because it
seems so much longer.
It feels like a bigger film.
It's just so good.
I thought this was a 2-hour film when I sat down to watch it again today. It's an hour and a half. It's perfect. All right. Speaking of perfection, talking about my two perfect friends, Thomas Lecaque, Kate Sheppard. Guys, thank you so much for being here tonight and talking to me about this film.
Thanks,
I'm so glad that we got to. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are both coming back because we've got Last Crusade coming up.
Yeah. I have a pitch for the next one we're doing after that.
What's that? Hit me now.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
I have that movie on VHS. That's the kind of love I have.
You got it.
I am so ready to talk about that movie. I love it. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I'm so ready to go make spaghetti. I'm starving. So,
yes, go eat.
Guys, this was fun. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap here at Reckoning with Jason Herbert. Thank you so very much to our guests, Kate Sheppard and Thomas Lecaque. Thank you for being here. Thank you to Fletcher Powell for being part of this show, for making this show operate. Thank you to all of you who have continued to support this podcast over the last 3 years. We have so much more stuff coming for you. If you like this pod, please subscribe, leave us a great comment on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell everybody. We got so much more coming for you soon. So stick around. Talk to you then. Ciao for now.